And she is free. For now, MK's Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla is released on bail.
They are a legitimate target.
Someone is lying. Mixed messages by the South African and Rwandan government over the deaths of SANDF soldiers in DRC. And a horrific crash between a passenger plane and a Black Hawk helicopter ends up in Washington's freezing Potomac waters. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
Umkhonto weSizwe Party Member of Parliament, Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla, has been released on a warning. Her case has been transferred to the Durban High Court. Zuma-Sambudla appeared before the Durban Magistrates Court this morning facing terrorism charges linked to the July 2021 unrest. She is charged with incitement to commit terrorism and 2 counts of incitement to commit public violence. The state is accusing her of using her social media platform to post inciting remarks which may have had an impact on the anarchy.
There is nothing in the affidavit of the investigating officer to even remotely suggest that there would be any risk in releasing you on bail. There has been no conditions that have been submitted.
The riots led to the deaths of more than 350 people and millions of rands in damage to property and businesses. In KZN, a most wanted suspect in relation to a series of murder cases related to a gang in Mdwedwe has been fatally wounded in a shootout with police.
The 2 that are in the vehicle up there, one of them is a leader of that gang, a youngster, a 22-year-old young boy. The leader of the gang that has been terrorizing community of Inanda and Guamashu and the surrounding areas, and Tuzum and the likes. There's been a number of murder cases that he's been involved with, at least not less than 10 murders on his name, attempted murders, robberies and so forth. So it's been a good operation that the members were doing.
South African soldiers are a legitimate target among all those involved in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo conflict, if they partake in combat operations. That's according to a Rwandan government spokesperson. SANDF soldiers have been in the Eastern DRC since December 2023. They're part of a SADC deployment. South African leaders claim this is part of a UN-supported peacekeeping mission, but have been seen to be contradictory in their stance on the heightened tensions between DRC and Rwanda. At least 13 soldiers have died in the conflict.
What are your soldiers doing in the DRC?
They're there.
In combat operations.
Well, they're
If they're
there.
in combat operations, they are a legitimate target of all the fighters that are involved in that fight in Eastern DRC.
Rwandan President Paul Kagame says South Africa is in no position to take on the role of peacemaker or mediator, and if it prefers confrontation, Rwanda is prepared to take it on. Yesterday, President Cyril Ramaphosa said that more than 1,000 soldiers have come under attack from the M23 rebel group backed by the Rwanda Defence Force. But Kagame says Ramaphosa confirmed to him that South African soldiers were killed by the armed forces of the DRC and not M23.
But I can confirm that everything that President Ramaphosa has been able to articulate to the people of South Africa has been in line with the discussions that he has had, and there was no lie or deliberate distortions. We are not there on a frolic of our own, as it is suggested in some of the tweets that you are referring to.
A frantic search continues for survivors of a mid-air plane collision over the waters of the Potomac in Washington, D.C., USA. Rescue workers have been pulling multiple bodies from the river. There are still many more missing. 64 people were on board when the passenger plane collided mid-air with a helicopter. It crashed into the river as it was approaching Reagan National Airport, prompting a desperate search for survivors in the dark, near freezing water.
Our fire department, DC Fire and EMS, supported by fire departments and police departments from across the Washington metropolitan region, are executing a rescue operation in the Potomac River. They are working diligently in very dark and cold conditions, cold water.
The South African Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee has decreased the repo rate by 25 basis points to 7.5%. The decrease comes into effect on the 31st of January 2025. The National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, has approved a 12.7% tariff increase on electricity prices this year. This is lower than the 36.15% hike that Eskom had requested. NERSA also announced it had approved a 5.3% and 6.1% increases for the next 2 financial years. Hundreds of opposition members are calling on Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis to protect the integrity of the City Council by removing JP Smith and Xanthia Limburg from office. The call comes after the Hawks raided the offices of the 2 MACO members on Friday. Police indicated that the raid is related to a tender fraud forensic investigation for a case that is already before the courts.
Helen Zille is the one who took a strong position and said he must be saved. And then after that, the decision was given to Jordan Hill-Lewis to be the one who takes the decision. Now, Jordan comes to us and informs us that he spoke to the police. On what capacity?
Dambuza adds the investigation into Smith and Limburg wouldn't be taking place if there was no wrongdoing on their part. Union SAMWU is threatening to shut down Johannesburg and demanding Acting Chief Operating Officer Helen Botha be removed from her post. They're also accusing Joburg Mayor Dada Morero of protecting Botha. She's the Acting Chief Operating Officer of the city. Botha served as the CEO of Johannesburg Property Company for more than 15 years. During her time there, was linked to financial misconduct, resulting in the wasteful expenditure of 18 million rand. She was also at the center of allegations of money laundering through the buying and selling of properties.
They are covering her. And the person who's behind of covering for Helen Botha is the mayor, Dada Morero. He is fighting by all means to make sure that Helen corruption is covered.
Hamas has released 3 Israeli and 5 Thai hostages. They've spent more than a year in captivity in Gaza. Israel is expected to release more than 100 Palestinian prisoners, including 30 children. This makes up the 3rd hostage prisoner exchange as part of a ceasefire deal aimed at ending the Gaza war. A 4th exchange is scheduled for the weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for more again tomorrow.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.